It begins with a golf ball-sized squid, glowing in the moonlit shallows, adorable and almost invisible because of a secret alliance with bacteria. But dive deeper, and each layer of ocean peels away that cuteness, revealing predators with jet-powered bursts, bioluminescent cloaks, and arms that can stretch 10 times their body. What drives this transformation from charming to chilling? And why does the ocean's true nightmare always lurk further down? Nestled in the sandy shallows off Hawaii, a golf ball-sized squid spends its nights gliding just above the seafloor. Its eyes are wide and luminous, but the real marvel is hidden inside, a living light organ packed with millions of Vibrio fischeri bacteria. Within 12 hours of hatching, juvenile bobtail squids recruit these microbes from the water, drawing them in with cilia and a layer of sticky mucus. Only the right bacterial strains make it inside, outcompeting others in a microscopic contest. Once settled, the bacteria set to work, producing a soft blue-green glow that perfectly matches the moonlight filtering through the water above. This is counter-illumination, a camouflage trick that erases the squid's shadow and makes it nearly invisible to predators lurking below. By day, the squid buries itself in sand, eyes just peeking out. At night, the partnership with Vibrio fischeri comes alive. The squid can adjust the brightness of its bacterial flashlight, tuning the glow to match the shifting light of the moon and clouds. Each dawn, it vents almost all of its bacterial residents, keeping just enough to repopulate the organ for the next night's show. Laboratory experiments have shown that this living lantern cuts predation risk by more than half. Without their bacterial partners, young squids are quickly spotted and eaten, an outcome confirmed in side-by-side predator tests. This tiny animal's survival depends on a symbiotic alliance, a teamwork model that begins the squid's journey from cute to cunning. As Dr. Margaret McFallen-Guy first proved in her laboratory, the bobtail and its bacteria are inseparable, a living flashlight and its operator working in perfect sync. In the clear waters of the Caribbean and Indo-Pacific reefs, squid life takes on a new rhythm. Here, social rules are written in color, and communication happens at the speed of thought. Reef squids, like Sepioteuthis sepioidea, gather in small groups, sometimes up to 30 individuals, each one a living billboard of shifting patterns. Their skin is covered with chromatophores, tiny pigment sacs controlled by nerves branching from the optic lobes. These cells expand and contract in less than a second, turning the squid's body into a dynamic display. During courtship, males unfurl bold zebra stripes along their flanks, waving their arms and pulsing from brown to white in a dance that can last for hours. Females and smaller males answer with their own patterns, sometimes sending different signals on each side of their body, an invitation to one neighbor and a warning to another. This split-second lateral signaling is possible because each half of the squid's skin is wired for independent control. In the middle of a school, dozens of squids flicker and ripple in synchrony, coordinating their movements and intentions without a sound. When danger approaches, the whole group can vanish into the reef, flashing a sudden pale alarm before melting into camouflage. These rapid-fire skin changes are more than showmanship. They are a lifeline in busy, predator-rich shallows. As sunlight fades with depth, the need for new tactics grows, and the language of color gives way to stranger forms of survival. Somewhere between sunlight and total darkness, glass squids drift in the ocean's twilight zone. At depths from 200 to 1,000 meters, these animals take invisibility to an extreme. Their bodies are nearly transparent, muscles, eyes, and even the digestive tract fading into the blue and leaving only faint outlines. But the real secret to their survival is hidden inside, a sac filled with ammonia-rich fluid. This internal reservoir is less dense than seawater, making the squid almost weightless. Unlike their shallow cousins, glass squids do not waste energy swimming or flashing colors. Instead, they hover motionless, long tentacles dangling, conserving every bit of energy in a world where food can be scarce and movement attracts attention. The ammonia solution, though toxic to most life, lets them float without effort, drifting like phantoms in the dim light. As Dr. Bruce Robison observed during ROV dives in Monterey Canyon, glass squids are designed to be ghosts, transparency and buoyancy acting as their shield. In these silent midwaters, The cost of being seen is too high, and so glass squids simply disappear. Night falls in the Gulf of California, and the water churns with movement. Humboldt squid, Dositicus gigas, gather in the darkness, drawn by bait lights and the promise of prey. Suddenly, the water explodes with jet-powered bursts. These animals accelerate up to 20 miles per hour, arms spread wide, serrated suckers ready to latch onto anything unlucky enough to cross their path. Their skin pulses with flashes of red and white, a rapid-fire warning and a signal to others. This is not a choreographed hunt, but a frenzy. Each squid is an opportunist, attacking when the moment is right, sometimes side by side, sometimes in a chaotic rush. On fishing vessels, researchers have watched as dozens of Humboldt squid converge, their flashing bodies turning the water into a strobe-lit arena. Dr. William Gillies' team tracked these events with pressure-resistant data glove tags, capturing the split-second decisions and color shifts that mark the start of an attack. The beaks cut through bone and the flashing skin patterns ripple across the pack, broadcasting aggression in the deep. Here, in the sparse light, speed and violence rule the hunt. 1,000 meters down, the water is cold, dark, and nearly out of breath. Here, oxygen levels drop to just 3%, enough to suffocate most sea life. But the vampire squid, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, is built for this world. Its gills are enormous for its size, spreading out to capture every trace of oxygen drifting by. The blood inside carries a special pigment with an unusually high grip on oxygen, able to load up even when there is almost nothing left to take. This is not a fast predator. The vampire squid moves slowly, conserving energy, its metabolism 1/10 that of its shallow water cousins. Instead of chasing prey, it waits. Two long, sticky filaments stretch out to gather marine snow, tiny flakes of dead plankton, fecal pellets, and drifting debris. When threatened, the squid curls into a pumpkin-like ball, webbed arms wrapped tight, and releases glowing blue sparks, brief flashes of bioluminescence that startle would-be attackers in the gloom. For years, stories painted this animal as a bloodsucker, but careful study of its diet and physiology revealed a quiet scavenger, perfectly tuned to the deep's most inhospitable layer. As Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute biologist Steve Haddock has shown, the vampire squid is less a monster and more a specialist, surviving where almost nothing else can. Far below the reach of sunlight, the ocean begins to rewrite the rules of anatomy. Magnapina, sometimes called the big fin squid, drifts in this abyss with arms and tentacle filaments that stretch 10 times the length of its body. Each limb bends at a sharp, elbow-like angle, trailing ghostly threads that can span several meters. Fewer than a dozen specimens have ever been collected, and only about 24 encounters have been logged by deep-sea vehicles worldwide. Stranger still is Promachoteuthis, known from just 7 specimens. Its exposed beak and rattle jut from its mouth and create the illusion of a squid with human teeth, a fleeting glimpse of something utterly alien. In these depths, every new form seems stranger than the last. For centuries, the giant squid lived only in rumor and washed-up remains. That changed in the 2010s. Using a Medusa camera rig and a glowing e-jelly lure, a team led by Dr. Tsunemi Kubadera and Dr. Edith Witter finally captured the first live footage of Architeuthis ducks in its natural habitat. A tentacle, then an eye the size of a dinner plate, drifted into view. Undeniable proof that this deep-sea legend was real and very much alive. Michael Vecchione of NOAA later said the moment rewrote both science and myth, turning a creature of sailors' tales into a living fact. In Antarctic waters, the colossal squid rewrites every rule of scale. Weighing up to 495 kilograms, it is not only heavier than any other squid, but it is armed with tentacles lined in swiveling sharp hooks, tools for gripping prey in the blackest depths. The 2007 longline capture brought a nearly intact specimen to science, revealing anatomy that had only been guessed at before. As Dr. Steve O'Shea observed during dissection, this was an animal built for the abyss, its bulk and weaponry unmatched in the ocean's deepest cold. Even today, the deep sea still shields new squid forms that science has yet to name. As technology pierces deeper darkness, Each discovery rewrites what we think is possible. The monsters of the abyss are not just legend. They are alive, evolving, and waiting for us in the uncharted dark.